Yo, what is going on, guys? I wanted to go ahead and drop another video for you, and I want to go over something that I feel like I do that not many other people do. And it's actually a way to where I can sit in what is not a traditionally great run defense, but I can allow my user and specifically my click off to play the run really well for me. And the adjustment that I'm talking about is I will almost always man up my safety, the guy that I'm using. I use the deep safety. And I'll almost always man him up on the running back when I feel like it is a run. And I do this out of 3-4 odd. I do this out of 3-3-5. Basically, whatever defense I'm in, if I feel like it's a run and I feel like I'm going to try to shoot a gap and then click off with my user, I'm going to take that safety and I'm going to man him up. You see, I do it right here. And throughout the course of this gameplay, this is a game against Noonan, who is a competitive player. This is in Drag CFM League. But basically, I'm going to let this run through. My first couple drives, I do end up winning this game. But basically, you guys will see that almost always, no matter what they're doing offensively, I'm going to man up my user on that running back. If I think it's a run. Now, if it's a pass, then it becomes a different thing. I will typically man up my user on the tight end if I man him up on anybody at all. If I'm blitzing, it'll definitely be manned up against the tight end. Now, right there, you saw that he comes out, he hits me with a really nice little cover one beater in terms of the way to glitch the assignments. So I knew right away I had to go to my 3-3-5. Noonan's going to know pretty much how to run on everything that he's faced. So I chose to stick in my 3-3-5. And he'll be able to, dink and dunk and pick up a couple yards here and there running. But for the most part, he's going to really struggle to run the ball with any sort of consistency against this defense, mainly because I know he hasn't seen it. All right, so there you see he goes up 3-0, but we come back, we get the score after we fumbled on the opening kickoff. So we're up 7-3, and I know as long as I can basically hold him to 3, I know he's primarily a runner, so I know I'm going to be able to go up and down the field, score, hopefully sevens while he's kicking threes, if that. Now, here we go once again, right? You'll see I'm manning him up. Now, I'm not going to be able to shoot the gap perfectly with my user every time, and that's not something that I, expect you guys to be able to do either, right? It's especially in this game, it's too hard. Like Noonan's got a human joystick running back, a guy with jukebox, and a guy with spin cycles. So, like, my user's not going to make the play in the backfield every time. But the way that I play defense and the way that I think that you should play run defense in this year's game is if you can hold them to 2, 3, 4 yards while also having the ability to hit them in the backfield and make them, have those long yardage situations that's going to force them to pass. If you can do that, they're going to really struggle to make these drives go really long, right? And that's really my goal. Like, I'll give up the 3 to 4 yard run, knowing that, okay, I'm going to hit you in the backfield one of these plays, and as long as I, get you on that 3rd and long, that 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, you're going to have to pass. And once you do pass, that's where it's going to be really difficult because if you really look at it, runners, especially people that spend the majority of their time this year running the ball, they don't have the confidence level to sit there and drop back and pass against you, especially not when you're able to generate pressure. That's why I love this 3-3-5 defense. With the way that I shift my defensive line in Mutt, I have an edge threat elite guy and a pass rush elite guy on both sides. Those are the two abilities that I use. And I do it because if I shift, like in this case, right, I shifted to the right, that's going to trigger edge threat. But the other defensive end will also trigger a pass rush elite. So, like, having the ability to trigger both is just key. Now, right here, this is his first real pass attempt where he needed to pass the ball. I played a more traditional, figuring he was going to go a hitch out route combination, and I was going to play like both. But he ends up hitting me with a really nice dot. Nothing I can do. That was his first pass attempt at a trips tight end, in my opinion, right? So I had to file that away, like knowing that he does use that route, which is not a route most people use. I had to see it. So I do man that receiver up a lot, and I'm going to continue to man him up throughout the course of the game. But now I know that I can't play hard flats. If I do play hard flats, there's a good chance he'll hit me with that route again. So once again, he's going back to the run. Now here, he's mixing it up with quick hike, right? So he quick hikes this a wing flex close, and it does. It throws me off a little bit because for the most part, he's been coming out and he's been running the same, same couple formations, but he hasn't been quick hiking. He's been letting his players set and all that stuff, but not anymore. So now he's quick hiking, trying to get something going. There you see I shoot the gap with my user, click off, make a tackle in the backfield. Now that right there is exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of times, if you're using a guy in a deep blue or a yellow or really any zone, if you shoot the gap, there will be times where he actually triggers and runs the wrong direction, because he'll instantly react back into his deep zone, for instance, and then a lot of times that's where these big runs will come into play when you are expecting to have a guy in that gap and you click off, and he not only will take a bad pursuit angle, but he'll actually run the wrong direction. But if you man your user up on the running back, he'll never do that. He'll always go towards the running back, which is key. So here you see he's doing a really good job of mixing things up. But basically, what he's doing right here is he's making it to where my cover 3 goes into that cover 2 type of shell, which obviously is not very good run defense. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking onto that safety to keep him into the box. Now here he went to strong close, so I know he can't actually do that. So here he's passing, and this is going to be a huge mistake on his part. Passing against 3-3-5 is just brutal because, like, I've got everybody in coverage, right? I'm only rushing 3 people. I've got a spy. I can make whatever adjustment I really want, and then you're basically cooked. So here we go. This is going to be a 3rd and 22. He's not going to be able to get this. He's going to go with a more traditional setup to the trips tight end, which is going to be motion over, having a post, having a corner, having a drag. But you'll see right here, I'm just going to take away the motion over post, and he's basically got nothing there. He's just going to chuck up the corner route. Could have been picked, could have been caught. It's one of those 50-50 jump ball type animations, but doesn't get it, and that's basically it for that drive. Now, here we go. I'm up 14-3. Like I said, I'm able to score, and I feel pretty confident in my ability to score when I'm running this offense. I'm running Gun Bunch out of West Coast. And keep in mind, this is regs, right? So it's the CFM. So I don't have all the abilities I want. His team's actually significantly better than mine. But here you see, I make a great play, get a pick, but end up falling out of bounds. That's just me being comfortable using that deep safety right there, because I left the streak wide open to go play that, knowing he was going to throw that route. But as you see, right, so I played just good enough run defense to basically force him into passing, right? Now that he's down 14-3, he doesn't want to be running the ball and basically chewing the clock on himself. So he comes out in strong close. And I've been telling people for a month now that strong close is not that good of an offense, especially against 3-3-5. 3-3-5 is pretty much, in my opinion, the perfect counter to the strong close, because I can shoot the gap, as you just saw, very easily, and then I can take away the routes. Now here, he hits me with a route combination I did not expect. I did not expect him to have a crosser, especially going to the side away from where he motioned. So he hits me with a nice dot right there, but once again, I keep that into, the back of my mind that he can utilize that cross, and I'll be able to take that away later into the game. Now, coming up right here, we've got same thing, right? I'm in 3-3-5. I'm manning up the running back with my user, so that's going to make it really difficult for him to run. He goes to eye close. Now, I'm making adjustments. He's motioning guys over, and as you see, once again, nowhere to go. I mean, 8 carries for 22 yards, and he's giving me the full-blown Oakland tour. So 2nd and 8. We're going to go ahead and man this up. And I do believe he scores a touchdown right here, because if I'm not mistaken, he puts the streak to the outside right receiver and then basically chucks it. And I make a miserable play with my user right there. That was just a blind ass read, because he had no idea I was going to mess up my user right there. He just kind of hoped. But it worked. It worked out for him. Now I'm going to get the ball. I'm going to kick 3 and take it to half. So right off the bat, I see that he's not comfortable passing at a strong close. Even his last read, right? His only touchdown so far was a pass that was just completely blind. So once again, I'm going to sit here. I'm maining up the tight end. That way I can play the crossers. And he chucks the tight end right into a purple, and you see that we get the defensive stop there. I'm going to go up 7 again, or I'm going to get 7, go up 14. And at this point, right, the game's basically over. Now, he got to pass midfield by, switching out his kick returner to a human joystick running back, which was not expected. But here you see, once again, I'm doing the same stuff, right? I'm not letting him hit the post. I'm not letting him, run the ball. He's pretty much forced to dink and dunk. And the one thing, the one read that I gave him all game long that he just never really took was that running back on the wheel route. Um, just one of those things, like right there, you saw my adjustments. I've got my outside linebacker in a deep zone, which is going to allow me to play underneath. I broke this down about a week ago, but this little adjustment right here allows me to not have to worry about the post route. Here you can see he just chucks up the wide trail. I've got a 6'3" corner. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to get the pick. So that's basically it. I end up getting tackled for a safety right there. Caught the ball on the 1 yard line on the pick. Next play, he run commits and hits me in the backfield. But this will be the last drive I show. Now you saw right there, I did want to leave that clip in there because that was an example of pursuit just being bad. You saw like he was able to one cut away from my safety, which I clicked off of, and he was able to get around him, right? So like that's still a thing. That can happen. But the thing that won't happen with the man up of the running back is he won't be able to, like, my player won't run the opposite direction. So like, yeah, he was able to get around him, which will happen every once in a while, but he's not going to completely dumb him out, which is the thing that I really wanted to talk about. All right, so basically, we've got a 2-score lead. It's 24-12 right now. And you see, I'm moving that safety 1 click because I know he's trying to glitch my run defensive look. And you'll see once again, like, I mean, he's not really running the ball that well. I mean, it's 2 to 3 yards at best for the most part. And basically, we're going to force him into these passing situations that we already can see he's not comfortable in, right? He's doing all the motions that he can to basically screw up our alignment. And he's able to run the ball a little bit. He's found a couple runs that are working. But like I said, it's one of those things where I'm not going to abandon this run defense just because I know he can pick up, 5, 6, 7 yards every once in a while. Because all it takes is for me to hit him in the backfield one time on these runs, and he's forced to pass. And it's really that simple. Like, if it came down to it and I had to shoot a gap and hit him in the backfield, say it's a 4th and 1 for game or something like that, it would be a little bit more difficult. But just like that, right there, I set up the run defense. I get a good shed. Now it's 3rd and 11. Now he's coming back out in trips tight end. We already can see he's not comfortable in this set. So I can make my adjustments. Can he actually dot it? Maybe. But throughout the course of the game, if you can always put your opponent in a situation where he's not comfortable in, whether it's, forcing a runner to pass or giving a passer a look to where they think they will be able to run. Just one of those things. If we see that, we always want to put our opponent, as he should have thrown a pick right there. You want to force your opponent into the situations to where, they're not comfortable. And that's exactly what I'm doing, right? I'm sitting in a great pass defense, and I'm stopping the run enough to where my opponent thinks that they can run. But then once I stop the run just slightly and they have to pass, now they're passing against what is a great pass defense, and they have no hope. And that's really what I do with this defense. And as you see right here, we get a nice little swat, and that's going to be basically game, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.